aloha, friends. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's author Joe Holt. We're doing another live podcast today. Fireside chats with a man who needs little to no introduction, LT Zonda. It's my boy. Welcome back, man. It's so good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Aloha! I've been wanting
yeah.
to say that.
No.
How you doing, man? Dude, absolute pleasure to be on the channel, man. Thank you so much for inviting me on for an interview. I'm pleased we could finally get around to doing it, man.
Oh, me too. Me too. Well, I followed you over from Twitch, like a lot of us have, and so I think I was like your third follower. It was hilarious when we came over. It was like, okay, how long is this going to take for people to find me here? Well, I don't know, 2 weeks for partner and 3 weeks for global. So I'd say not 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been surprising actually. I've got a lot of friends who were previously big Twitch streamers back in the day. They've moved over to other platforms because of like an opportunity. And a lot of them have struggled with introducing people to these new platforms. And I think the thing about DLive is it really does show, because a lot of these bigger streamer friends that I've had have moved over to platforms. They've been given a pretty hefty check to be able to do so. And they've normally gone to a platform that people think, oh, okay, this is kind of cool, but it's not really anything different. It's the same as Twitch, or it's the same as Mixer. It's the same as like so they've either gone to like Facebook Gaming, or they've gone to Mixer, or so something like that. And it's they've struggled with introducing their audience to it, because it's not really something new. It's the same as just Twitch, if you get what I mean. So I think because of the platform and what DLive is and what it's been able to do, I think I've been a lot more lucky in terms of being able to introduce more people over to it, because viewers are a lot more receptive, because you actually get rewarded for your time. And I think a lot of streamers have looked at DLive as a really good opportunity as well. So I've actually come over to kind of see how DLive is, if you get what I mean. So
All right. All right. Well, hold on though. We're going to get into DLive, my friend. We are. But first, we got to introduce people. So I'm going to start with my basic questions that I always ask. The first question is, your name is LT Zonda. How did you come up with it? What's it mean?
Oh God. So this is probably the most boring, boring imaginative name ever. So LT can stand for either lieutenant or lieutenant in the army. Back when I started playing Call of Duty, back when I was like, I don't know, this is probably like 9 or 10 years ago now. So I'd say I was about 15, maybe 14 at the time when I first thought of the name LT Zonda. And yeah, it's yeah, obviously that can either stand for lieutenant or lieutenant in the army, but mainly it's for my initials. But I like the idea of being called Lieutenant Zonda, because Zonda was my favorite car. The Pagani Zonda, of course, still my favorite car. Never going to be able to own one of them.
I had no idea. Zonda is a car?
You didn't know that?
No, I had no idea. That's why we ask.
You gotta Google it, man. Pagani Zonda.
Okay,
it's like the most insane hypercar you've ever seen.
I gotta write that down, but I had no idea. And also, I always thought the L in LT Zonda was for Luke.
Yeah, well, yeah, it can mean that as well. It can stand for Luke Taylor, because that's my initials, LT. Or it can be Lieutenant, Lieutenant. I guess it kind of fits into a little bit of both.
Pagani Zonda. All right, man. Well, I know you're hyped about cars. I mean, I've heard Flo leave the house in your car, and we can hear it in your office.
Yeah, my car is a bit of a chav machine right now. It's
Wait, a what? What does that mean?
A chav machine. It's like I don't know. What do you call them in America? Like people who like typical like white kids who wear like hoodies, like.
Oh well, we call them rice
like
burners.
Tracksuit bottoms and
rice burners.
drive cars like Citroen Saxos with lowered suspension and really loud exhausts.
Yeah.
Those sort of people.
Those sort of people. All right. Those sort of people. All right. So then we always ask, and I know a bit of these questions, but I'm just trying to help the audience out. How long have you been streaming? But also, what got you to start streaming?
Wow. So I guess this is a difficult one. Well, it's the weird one, because it kind of leads on from not streaming to streaming. So originally I started creating content online on YouTube 9 years ago. I was a lot younger at the time. I made commentary videos on Call of Duty. I made companies. And that's kind of what originally kind of launched me into the kind of industry. I started off obviously making gaming videos, commentary, like montages and stuff on COD 4, Modern Warfare 2. Those are the games I like to play. And then kind of later on down the line, I made like product reviews. So I messaged companies. I must have sent out about 10,000 emails to every gaming company under the sun, and I had about 10 or 15 actually reply to me offering me free products to review. So I started off as like a tech reviewer, which was really, really cool. And then eventually, after about 4 years of doing that as a hobby, I actually then started streaming on Twitch. I had a few friends that had started streaming on Twitch, and I'd always heard of it. I was on there for about 2 years as a viewer, and I never really thought about live streaming. And I was always kind of someone who wanted to make YouTube videos. And I gave it a go, and I absolutely loved it. I loved it more than making YouTube videos. So I did it as kind of like part-time as with my job as well, and eventually got to the stage where I could stream full-time on Twitch. So 5 years on Twitch now, and now over to D-Live, my new home.
So you actually moved to D-Live recently though, right?
Yes, so D-Live is about 2.5 months now. I think I wrote it down as the 24th. So the 24th of this month will be the official third month, like the start of my third month on D-Live. So I'm currently into my I'm into my third month.
January.
Wait.
We came over in January.
Was it January? Jesus Christ.
It was like the end of January.
Yeah, so it's January 24th. So we had January 24th, February 24th. That was 1 month. February 24th to March 24th is 2 months. Yeah, so now we're on to our third month.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Well, it's something that streamers who stream every day learn. The days blend together, the months blend together. You start to lose track of where you are, and that's why it's good to get up and go outside occasionally.
We definitely do, man. We definitely do.
Which you do, right? You do, like Sundays. You do an airsoft stream, right? Is that still going?
Yeah, I like the idea. I'm someone that has a really, really strong work ethic. I like the idea of working every single day. I understand that I only tend to stream for 6 hours a day, so I make up for that. Not like, for instance, I think of a work day as 8 hours a day. Mm-hmm. I only stream for 6 hours a day because that's as much as I can do before I start feeling a bit tired and stuff. So I make up for that by doing the extra 2 days a week. So I like to work 7 days a week, 6 hours a day. But I love my airsofting, which is why I try and stream it so I can make it into a bit of a kind of like a day's work
sure.
At the same time as doing a hobby that I enjoy and love and create some content. So yeah, I do technically have a day off, but it's still more of a stream day.
Very good. Well, and it's something that, we were talking about. You've been streaming for a long time. I mean, I found you a couple years ago on Twitch, and something that I know about, but I think it'd be good for you to talk about is your company, Streamers Connected, you and Josh Baked. That's how I got started streaming, guys. Was Luke encouraged me to start streaming, and when we moved over to D-Live, the platform, the community was so supportive and incredible that they taught me how. And so please put in a plug and let's talk about Streamers Connected. And you're actually wearing the shirt right now. I saw this morning.
I'm representing, man. I'm representing.
Nice.
So yeah, me and Josh started Streamers Connected. I think it's just under 2 years ago now. Yeah, probably would have been about 2 years ago from probably around about this sort of time, maybe February, March sort of time. And we obviously started off as like just a stream team. We wanted to make a stream team that was kind of open for everyone. Me and Josh have been in many stream teams over the years, and we were getting a bit sick and tired of restrictions to get into requirements to get into the team. And then once you're in the team, you had a load of restrictions about having to promote the team, not allowed to be in other teams. You got to do this, you got to do that. We got kind of sick of it. So we wanted to create a place where no one asks anything of you, and all you get is benefits. And that's kind of like the idea that we had in mind. Obviously, there's been different things we've tried to do over time where we've offered different benefits across the time, and something we still want to continue to work on. But it's something that will obviously take quite a while, if you get what I mean.
Sure.
But otherwise, we've done relatively well. We've managed to create an insane community now of over 9,000 streamers. Wow. We've exhibited around UK events all around the country, which is pretty cool. And yeah, it's something that the last year I dedicated pretty much my entire time to, which I think is why my own personal Twitch channel struggled a little bit. Obviously now with D-Live, I've kind of got to concentrate on this, especially with kind of having to make sure that I cover rent and stuff now that my housemates are moving out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
so yeah, believe it or not, Josh and Charlie are actually moving out. They're getting their own place now. So me and Flo are quite excited because we're now gonna have the house all to ourselves. We're like our own little family. We've got our little puppy. But yeah, so Josh and Charlie moving out now. They're getting their own place. Charlie works in London. Josh works from home, so it just seems more logical for them. I think she spends like hundreds and hundreds a month commuting, so it's definitely not worth them staying as far away from London as we're currently based.
sure,
So
sure.
yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I'm a little bit nervous, a little bit scared. Obviously, rent's going up, but
Yes.
I'm excited, man. It's nice. It feels like I've finally got to the stage now where I'm starting to be a bit more of an adult. I'm starting to kind of stand on my own 2 feet. Yeah, obviously when I first started streaming and doing YouTube and stuff, I lived with my parents. I had their support. And then kind of as they moved out, which is weird, I know. So I actually rent my house off my parents, and my parents actually moved out before I did, which is quite worrying when you think of it like that. That's how much of a child I am. Is that I kicked up that much of a fuss that my parents moved out before I did. That's a claim to fame.
I've never heard of anybody's like their kids won't leave, so they move out. That's a first on me, man.
It's quite bad, really, isn't it?
No,
Oh
no,
my
it's
God.
fantastic. And you're planting grass in the front yard to help the place grow. Or was that clover? Oh no, that was clover.
Well, yeah, it was meant to be grass seed, but now my whole garden's covered in weeds, so it's definitely clover. Not happy, man. And the worst thing is because we got the puppy now, right? And Flo keeps forgetting to pick up the dog poo. Right, I don't want to go out there with a lawnmower and start cutting the grass, and then suddenly have dog poo squirt everywhere around the garden. It'll be all over me. It'll be all over the shed, and God knows what.
But Minnie, oh come on, Minnie's a tiny little dog. Can't be that
She
bad.
does do little ones, but that's the ones you got to worry about because one of them gets caught in the blade, and that's going to go everywhere. The big ones you can see, it's the little ones that hide in the grass.
Oh man, that's fantastic. All right, so something that people see in your chat all the time, and for the longest time I had no idea what it meant, and I'll be honest, I had no idea. What is code flow? What does that mean?
Basically, I had a bit of a thing on Twitch. We called ourselves the Sellout Squad. The idea was that we basically wanted to do something. So obviously, I've always supported my girlfriend. Always will. And basically, I wanted to try and help her with her like main sort of sponsor. So she's sponsored. Well, she's not sponsored, but she's affiliated with GT Omega. But she's been one of not GT Omega, X Gamer. But she's been one of X Gamer's like top sellers for like the last year. And obviously now she'd started full-time work. She was obviously not able to stream as much, so I kind of want to do something to kind of help her and basically dedicate a bit of my stream to helping her kind of with one of her kind of partnerships or affiliates. So basically, she's always obviously had code flow for like everything, for like a GTO Mega Chairs or X Gamer and all that sort of stuff. So I thought, you know what, I'll have it on my stream, and then it turned into a bit of a meme. And we basically had a load of people called the Sellout Squad that went round to basically went and just spammed her code all over Twitter.
Right, so, but let's tell people what to do with the code. What do you do with it? Where do you put it? How do you use it?
Brilliant time for a plug right now.
That's right.
X Gamer, code flow in the chat. Basically, it's a powdered energy drink. It's got no sugar in it. It's caffeine based. And I drink it pretty much every day. Everyone always asks me, how am I so energetic?
Every
it's
day.
Mainly because of this stuff. It's like it's like drinking like a couple of coffees in the morning. It gets you out of bed. It gets you waked. It gets you hyper. So yeah, if you're someone like me that caffeine affects you really badly, then this is the stuff. But yeah, it's pretty good to be fair. It's like an energy drink, but slightly healthier.
Right, and to answer the question that I asked, Amazon. Go to Amazon, buy X Gamer,
Yes.
use code flow.
I don't know if you can use the code flow on Amazon though.
Okay, see, that's why I'm asking. Where do they use the code to buy the X Gamer?
I think it might just be on the X Gamer website. So it's just xgamer.com.
Okay, so that's why I'm asking. Where can people go to buy X Gamer and use the code? Because I didn't even know that. I've been your mod since you started here. I followed you for years on Twitch. I still don't know where to use code flow.
Okay, all right, yeah. So it's x-gamer.com.
You want to throw it in the chat?
Do you mind if I put a link in the chat?
Please, yeah, please do.
Are you sure? All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to buy
Uh,
X Gamer and use code Flow.
there you go.
This is
Boom.
for me,
10% off
man.
code flow.
If anybody
Boom.
else wants to do it, great. But I also want to do it. All right, there we go. Code Flow. I got it.
Yeah, I think they're kind of out of stock for a lot of stuff at the moment. But when they do get some stuff in, it's worth buying like one of those little sachet packs. You can get like one flavor of each or something, and then try which ones you like. If you don't like any of them, then you haven't wasted too much because it's cheap as shit. But if you do like it, then you can buy like a bigger tub. I wouldn't waste money on a big tub first, just in case you don't like the flavors. If you get
and I know you've always talking about mixing different flavors. Do you want to tell people a few of your favorites?
Oh, mate. So they just bring out a cola flavor one and a cherry flavor one. Obviously, mixing them together makes cherry cola, and it's probably the best combination out of all of them.
Nice.
Otherwise, just it's just experiment,
And then you'll be like Luke. Well,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I don't know about that much, but well, I always wonder how much X Gamer you've had on any given day. You know, it's hard to tell because you're always super energetic.
Normally one or two. I don't ever go over two. I try and stick to just one, but if I'm feeling tired, sometimes I'll have two. So
And occasionally drink Flo's X Gamer, but I won't
Yeah,
tell her.
No, none of it's mine.
I won't tell her.
Don't.
All right, so now this is a serious question because I watched you on Twitch, but I wasn't watching you on Twitch when you were super successful, right? In the beginning, I kind of found you at the end when things were falling off. You had over 400,000 followers, but there might be a dozen or 24 people in the channel. So, and I could really see it, you were losing your drive for streaming. And, you know, you were talking about going to get a full-time job and you went on a number of interviews. And I think it was divine intervention that you didn't get this last job you went for because, you know, DLive exploded. So the question is, basically, how has DLive changed your life?
To be honest, without DLive, I would have had to get a normal job. I did apply for a job. I would say, luckily enough, at the moment, I didn't get accepted for it. They're actually quite complimented as well. They described me as an entrepreneur and someone that they thought might get a bit bored with the daily monotonous chores of a normal job, which I can kind of understand with. I'm quite an energetic person that likes to just mess around all day and have fun, so I can understand that point of view. But yeah, so I guess if DLive hadn't have come along at the time it did, and it hadn't have done so well, I would be really struggling. As I said before DLive, me and Flo weren't in the best financial situation. She obviously had to get a full-time job. Well, she was working part-time to help pay her rent. I've always tried to make sure I pay more, if you get what I mean, to try and make, like, I've always been one that wants to try and make sure I can help cover us both, if you get what I mean. I want to get to the stage eventually where obviously I'll have my own little family that I've got to provide for.
She's in chat. She can hear all this, buddy.
I'm sure she wants kids one day. We're not in a rush for that though, man. Not just yet. As I said, when I was back on Twitch for the last 2 years, I've been struggling. I'd obviously spent a year or so concentrating on Streamers Connected as well. And then, since I moved to DLive, things have obviously gone incredibly well for myself. I've been incredibly lucky. I've gone back to being a full-time streamer. Flo has actually just left her job as of yesterday.
Yes.
To go back to being a full-time streamer as well. So you definitely got to interview her, like, based on that.
Well, we're we're doing Flo Driver's interview after this one.
Exactly. Yeah. And definitely make sure you ask that one, because I'm sure she's got a lot to say about that, and I'm sure she's very excited. But as I said, because of DLive, purely because of DLive and the community here and the support that we've both had, we've now both got the opportunity to be full-time streamers again, which is a dream come true. It's something I absolutely love doing. It's something I'm incredibly passionate about. It's something I know is not ever going to last forever. I obviously had a crazy time on Twitch at one point, and then the fall off afterwards, and you can't expect to kind of stay. I don't want to use the word relevant because it kind of annoys me with the whole YouTube clout and that shit. But no one can expect to kind of stay popular and supported by others forever, if that makes sense.
Well, and actually, I think part of that came from didn't you get most of your followers from playing one specific game? Was it GTA 5? or
Yeah,
GTA?
so when I first kind of streamed on Twitch, I blew up purely because of GTA 5. Like Grand
Mm,
Theft Auto and Rockstar are
mhm,
literally the main reasons for my career. If GTA 5 wasn't a thing, I'd have never have been in the position that I am in now to be able to move over to D Live, or I'd never have been in the position to have had that kind of Twitch support, if you get what I mean.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
it's purely all down to GTA, man,
Well,
which
and
was amazing at the time. But unfortunately, obviously, the game kind of quietened out.
mhm,
And over the years, it settled down. But I still have some an amazing, insane supportive community behind me. I always have
mhm,
done. And obviously on Twitch, that community was amazing. But obviously on Twitch, the platform is a lot more saturated. So
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
the community I did have, fair, like completely fair and understandingly, watched other streamers, and people here do that as well. But when when I look on D Live and I look at the homepage, and there's like probably out of the 100 streamers that are live, I probably recognize the names of maybe 20 or 30 of them. So that's my choice of streamers I've got to watch. When
Mhm,
I was on Twitch, I'd look at the homepage and I knew thousands of them. Like
mhm,
who did I have to choose to watch that day? And
right.
I think that's always important. Is as a platform grows, the viewership of the platform needs to grow at a quicker rate than the streamership of the platform. I
Right.
don't know if you know this, but I believe in Twitch's last quarterly stats that they were like released or whatever.
Mhm.
I think it was on Sully Gnome. They said that there's only like 16 viewers for every streamer on Twitch, which is pretty crazy.
Wow.
I don't know what it is on D Live, but you got to think when there's streamers like Ninja and that pull tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of viewers. It's going to be so much harder for the smaller streamers, the streamers that maybe only pull 1 to 5 viewers, or 5 to 20 viewers, or 20 to 30 viewers. It's going to be so much harder to get up there. And even though the categories have a lot more viewers in each different category, like for instance on D Live, the majority of people that view tend to just go on the homepage and just pick random streams. That's what I'd like to do, and just check out different streams. I
Mhm,
don't care what games they're playing. But
mhm,
on Twitch, because it was such a big platform, it was more purely about the games they're playing. I'd never once go on the homepage and just look at a streamer and click and go and check their stream out. I would always go into my favorite game categories, then see the
mhm.
streamers in there.
Oh, I
And
see.
whilst Twitch has got that, each one of those categories is probably more populated in terms of streamers than the whole of D Live's homepage, which is pretty crazy. So I think it's just that. I think it's a little bit of oversaturation. I've obviously been struggling for a while on Twitch now for the last 2 years, and I think D Live came along at the right time, man.
I completely agree, friend. And while we're talking about Twitch, I do want to put out a plug for another streamer. I know this is a little strange, but a guy that I watched for a long time on Twitch, Co Carnage, just hit a 2,000 day straight streaming streak yesterday. 2,000 days straight. And he broke his streak uh, at 2,000 because he wanted it to be his choice when it ended. But I just
That's
want to
pretty
say
crazy.
congratulations to Co Carnage for over 5+ years of dedication. You know, and Zana, the reason I mentioned it is you talk about putting in the grind. You got to put in the grind to be successful. That's the grind for sure.
Definitely, man. I think Kokan is probably one of the best examples of Twitch streamers that do put in the grind and do put in the effort.
Mhm.
Whilst like I love his streams and he's someone that I like watching. He's not like the sort of person who is very kind of hype and over the top. Like
Right.
for instance, you look at someone like Doctor Disrespect. You watch him for his personality, for his character,
Mhm.
because his character is very over the top. It's like aggressive, it's fast paced momentum, or
Right.
whatever he calls it. But then you've got Kokarnage, who's a bit more kind of down to earth. He's more kind of closer to himself than a character,
Mhm.
um, and maybe not the sort of personality that would normally stand out massively. But because of the hard work and the effort and dedication that he's put in, he's freaking blown it out of the water. For someone to stream 5 years every single day in a row, that is so much dedication. I don't
Yeah.
think there's probably any other streamer on the entire platform that can say they've done that.
Well, actually,
And
he's now set the gaming Guinness Book of World Records for the longest streak.
damn, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Well, there you go. But that's
Yeah.
what I mean. For the fact that he's been to gaming events, he was at TwitchCon, he's probably been to PAX and stuff. For him to go to events like that and then still stream the same day, whether it's been from the event or when he gets back home, for someone to do that and take time out of their, like, to be able to stream every single day while still doing all this other stuff that he's done, that's crazy, man. And I think exactly, if someone else can stick to the dedication that guy has put in, you will be successful no matter what. If
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
if you're not someone who is like the most entertaining streamer in the world, or someone that not everyone will find interesting or exciting or fun to watch, if you're someone that puts in that sort of dedication and you can stream for 6-10 hours every single day for the next 5 years, I guarantee you're going to be up there and a lot bigger than a lot of the other streamers in 5 years' time who don't put in that sort of dedication. Because that's what I mean. Like he started off when Twitch was small. He's been putting in the grind ever since, and he's at that stage now where he's one of the biggest streamers on the platform.
Well, and I believe a big part of why he's been successful, and he regularly has 10,000 viewers daily. He jumps up 20,000 to 40,000 with new releases. But I believe a big reason he's so popular is because he always plays the newest game, and he does complete run-throughs, and he does talk videos about his thoughts on the game. He's he's definitely what I would call a hardcore gamer, right? And like we talked about, you had over 400,000 followers on Twitch, but after you stopped playing that one game that you built your platform on, it dropped off. So I guess what I want to ask you is, how do you feel about streamers on any platform? Because again, with Streamers Connected, you guys support multiple platforms. But how do you feel about building your platform on one game versus being a variety streamer? Do you think that matters? Do you think it's important to expand?
So it's interesting. Here's the way it pretty much general kind of consensus or common knowledge now that it's kind of there's two ways to go about growing your stream. You either pick one game and you stick with it and you'll grow incredibly quickly, but as soon as that game drops off, you'll need to realize that 90% of those followers followed you for the game. It's the same what it is with Fortnite. I'm sure, even though, for instance, I'll use Ninja as an example. Even though Ninja is an incredibly talented guy, he's fun to watch, whatever. As soon as he streams another game, his viewership will be nowhere near what it is on Fortnite. Because, unfortunately, because he blew up on Fortnite, most of the people that watch him will want to watch for Fortnite. It's the same as me. I blew up on GTA. I gained hundreds of thousands of followers on GTA. And then as soon as the game died, kind of, so did my channel a little bit, because the people that, when you stream just one game, and it is one of those games that grows you quickly because the game is popular, you're growing because the game is popular, not because people are enjoying you and you're becoming popular, if that makes sense. For instance, it's why I like to stream games like Axie Infinity on DLive, because Axie Infinity has probably the smallest like gamer base of any game on DLive. It's a crypto game. I think it's got less than like 1,000 players in total. So I like to play a game that for instance shows me, or for instance shows that I like to be about variety and stuff like that, because I believe personally that even if you are a variety streamer, you will grow slower, but the community you do grow will be appreciative of the fact that you're going to be playing a multitude of games. I think if you stick to one game and you grow quickly off that one popular game, those people have followed because they love that game, not necessarily because they love you.
Sure.
That sounded like a harsh truth there, really, didn't
it? No, that's exactly what, Luke, that's exactly what we're after right now, because what I try to do with these Q&As is not only do we want to get to know you on a more personal level, which you're very good about that anyway with your chat, but also we're trying to encourage new streamers and people who want to start streaming and help them understand what they're getting themselves into, and also how to set themselves up for success. Right? Like we're here now, this is a perfect segue actually. So let's talk about we're going to stop talking about the differences in platforms, and now we're going to just talk about DLive. You know, when we first came over to DLive at the beginning of the year, we didn't know what it was or how it worked or anything. And over the first month, you, without knowing anything about the platform, hit verified partner in 2 weeks, hit global partner a week later. I mean, you've already locked in 1 million Lino. I mean, like you set goals for yourself that were going to take a year, you thought, and you did that inside of 2 months. So yeah. So just talk about that.
Yeah, that's been crazy. So this is an interesting one actually that not many people know. You said that in what was it 2 months after not knowing much about the platform, I'd done this, but actually this is a little bit of a lie, because so before I actually started streaming on DLive, I was actually a viewer on DLive for about 2 months. So 2 months I was a viewer on DLive. I lurked in streams. I learned about the platform. I learned about the community. I researched into Lino and everything about it. I actually spent 2 months kind of researching into it and seeing if it was a viable option. I was keeping an eye on the growth daily. I was checking the homepage daily, seeing kind of how different viewerships are going around, seeing like what's happening basically. And so I spent about 2 months before actually streaming on DLive, before moving on DLive, to check out the platform, see what it's all about. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was so passionate about it, because I'd spent 2 months beforehand actually looking into it and learning about it. When I did actually come to make a move, it was crazy. I'd obviously talked to a load of the DLive staff guys because I was interested in the platform. I wanted to grill them a little bit and find out what was wrong and what was right and what was good and what was bad. And in the end, I came to the consensus that I think DLive is for me. And I gave it a chance. I did a test stream. That was back like 2 months before I moved over officially, just to see how that went. For doing it, and then I wanted to do another one, and I just made the decision. I went, you know what, my time on Twitch has come to an end. If DLive fails, then I grow up, don't I? I get a real job. I go out and make sure I can pay the bills. It's what we've all got to do at the end of the day. We're adults. If a plan doesn't pan out, you go to plan B, and you do what you got to do to get by. But obviously I was incredibly lucky. I had this opportunity to be able to be a full-time DLive streamer, and fortunately it paid off, man. And I've been very, very lucky since. The support has been overwhelming.
I want to tell you, as your friend, watching you for the last couple of years, it is an absolute joy to see you get up every day and smile and laugh and be so happy. So congratulations, man.
Thank you, bro. Oh, that's what I mean. But like you're one of the that do know that there's been a difference. Like the amount of people that have messaged me and gone, Zonda, mate, I see that you're in a much better place now. Your mental state is a lot better. I'm a lot happier. Like, people always see me smiling. Like when I was on Twitch, I don't think I was smiling every day. I don't think I was enjoying it as much. Like, I had fun back when me, you, and Banner used to play Atlas. I fucking loved that shit. But
yeah,
the only reason I tend to enjoy that streaming is because I was streaming with friends. That's where the enjoyment came from. The enjoyment wasn't because I was streaming; it was because I was playing with friends. And I think that it's the difference. I've gone from enjoying gaming and just doing streaming as a job to get by on Twitch and just enjoying the gaming that I've been playing, not necessarily enjoying the streaming, to now being over on DLive and enjoying it regardless, whether I'm playing by myself or I'm playing with friends. I'm enjoying myself because I've got a community to talk to and engage with and interact with, and it's nice. It's nice to feel appreciated. It's nice to be rewarded. It's nice to be able to set goals and achieve those goals. I think at the end of the day, every person's mentality in life should be to motivate themselves to better themselves. And obviously I've been very lucky and I've been able to do that. But I use those last 2 years of Twitch as a kind of a bit of a demotivated time in my life and a bit of a kind of negative time in my life to then motivate me to do better on DLive, which is why I stream every day, which is why I wake up with a smile, which is why I've got this passion, because I use the shit times to motivate myself to want to do better during the good times. And that's the way I've always been. If there's ever anything that normally would bring other people down, it's the opposite of me. It impacts me. Like, it's weird. Whenever something negative happens to someone, normally it's viewed negatively, but I try and view it from like a positive side of things and use that negativity to motivate myself to do better, if that makes sense.
Well, I can tell you, dude, you're in the UK, I'm in America, and I have to get up at 7 a.m. to start modding for you, and you start at lunchtime. And I can tell you,
you don't have to, bro. You don't.
No, I do have to. I love you, man. And like I said, I saw you with the frown, and now to see you with the smile, I literally wake up in the morning like, I got to turn on Luke's stream and say hi. And the first thing in the morning, 7 a.m. there's that da, 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 you know, he starts going off, and I've had my neighbors like knock on the wall over here on the other side, like what are you doing over there? I'm like, it's not me, I promise, it's Luke. Who's Luke? Oh, don't worry about it.
I'm sorry.
No, I've learned to start wearing my headset in the morning, but I just wanted to say it's super awesome that when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I get to see is your smiling face and you so excited. It really does set the tone for my day. So it's awesome, man. I couldn't be happier.
Thank you.
So let's talk about that, you know, because we talked about before, like you said, when you and I and Banu were hanging out and gaming, that was one thing because it was friends. But here on D Live, you even said, well, even if your friends aren't gaming with you, you feel the same. It seems like the platform, and that's exactly why you encouraged me to start streaming and why I'm streaming, is the community here. It's like you meet streamers and even viewers, and we're becoming friends very quickly, feel like brothers even. The family, you know, is it's real. So what do you want to say about that? How do you feel about the D Live platform and community specifically?
I think the reason why I like it is because it reminds me what Twitch used to be like. And for me, that kind of hits home. That's like quite close to my heart, if you get what I mean. Like it's the whole reason why myself and Josh started up Streamers Connected, because oh, sorry, I got hiccups now. God damn it. But yeah, like obviously when me and Josh when I first started streaming, everyone on Twitch was super supportive. Everyone subbed to everyone. I was subbed to like 20 odd streamers. 30 odd streamers or whatever. I had loads of streamers sub to me each day. I'd have streamers come in my stream. I'd see partner badges. I would then go and check out other streamer streams. I'd go into someone's stream and everyone would be like, yeah, I was on there. And it was nice, man. Everyone kind of knew everyone. And then obviously as Twitch grows, as any platform grows, it's obviously hard to deal with growth, and growth will always slightly divide a platform. It's never going to be something where you're going to always be able to have 99.9% of everyone included in everything. Especially as the platform gets bigger, that percentage is only going to get smaller. It's a harsh truth and fact. But I think the reason why I like D Live is because even though you could argue and say, well, any smaller platform at this stage could have a family tight knit community. It's true, but as a platform grows, it will show what the community is really, really like. And I think the fact that D Live is different in the fact that not only is it rewarding for streamers, because streamers have a smaller percentage of their earnings taken by the platform, which gives you a larger percentage of earnings to obviously, one, keep yourself financially stable, and two, be able to support streamers as well. The way I think of it is when I was on Twitch, I was a premium partner. Twitch used to take 30% of my revenue. For partners and affiliates as well, they take up to 50%. Wow. So for me personally, being on D Live, if I was to get the same kind of amount of physical or monetary support that I was getting on Twitch, I would actually be getting 20% more of that. That's 20% that I can then use to go and support other streamers with. Right. So that extra percentage is something that is given back to the community, that the community then can go and give back further to the community. Because, well, if you're an affiliate or a partner, that's 40% of your revenue that you wouldn't have had access to before. And I think that creates a really kind of nice set in stone, because realistically, if you think of it this way and you go, well, now that streamers are getting 20% or even up to 40% more revenue, even from the same sort of community and the same sort of support they were having, that there's no excuse there to say, well, why aren't you going to support other people? Right. If you're in a position where you're like myself, where I've been very, very lucky, I've been very fortunate, been able to earn a fair amount of Lino, then there's no excuse for me to not give Lino back to people. There's no excuse for me to not sub to 100 people.
Is that what you call a million Lino? A fair amount?
but that's what I mean. Because of that, I'm now able to give away like $300, $400 worth of Lino every month, which is crazy. Back when I was on Twitch, I would never have been in the position to be able to subscribe to 100+ streamers, be able to drop diamonds on non-partners every single night. It's madness.
Well, and I really like that, and I actually wanted to say that out loud, which is I really like that you every day you're following partners, you're dropping Lino, you're going into other streams to support them. So if you could talk about that for a minute, I would just like, if you could tell new streamers, hey, this is what you need to do to be successful. And I know that that's
Okay.
involved in that, but you know, like we're talking about not
I,
specifically how to stream, but how to
Well,
promote well.
I think kind of going around and sharing the support culture that is on D Live, it should be expected, especially of global partners. If you're a global partner, realistically, you should be giving away a percentage of your earnings. You should be showing that you're going out and actively supporting the rest of the community. I think verified partners should have to do the same, but obviously, if you're a smaller verified partner, then you don't have to do it to such an extent. But I think at the end of the day, and this is one thing where people keep asking me is like, oh, Zonda, mate, you sub to me, but you don't really come in my stream very often. But that's because I make a point of subscribing to partners to show that I'm still trying to do my best to support them.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also make a point of actually only ever raiding or hosting or mainly dropping Lino on non-partners. I feel as though as a global partner or as a normal partner, it's up to us. It's our role to help educate and share that community support culture to new streamers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a reason why I don't really raid partners. I mainly raid non-partners, and to help people kind of get up to partnership is because I personally believe if us as partners can help educate the newer streamers coming on the platform, then when they get up to partnership, they'll do the same to the newer streamers as well. Because at the end of the day, there's only like five global partners right now. And I don't know how many normal verified partners there are, but there's probably a couple of hundred now. But like even though that might seem a lot, there's no way every single partner on the platform at the moment could help do that, could drop that sort of love, could drop that sort of support on every other new streamer on the platform. So I
Right.
think as global partners and verified partners, it's important for us to help educate the new streamers coming to the platform and showing them that support and helping them get up to the stage where they can then go and support people. Because at the end of the day, like if we stick to this kind of elitism where the global partners just raid global partners, then people come to the platform, they're like, oh fuck it, the big streamers are only in it for themselves. They only want to support the big streamers.
Mm-hmm.
But if we make an effort and we prove a point of only supporting smaller streamers and newer streamers on the platform, then when those smaller streamers and those newer streamers become like more like veteran streamers and bigger streamers on the platform, then they'll have that mindset and they'll have that goal of thinking, you know what, I want to make sure I help the newer streamers as well. If we all carry on and go, oh, we're only going to support each other and we're big streamers, globals are only going to raid globals, VPs are only going to raid VPs, it sets a really bad example and says like, oh, actually, the streamers here don't give a shit. They're here for their own personal gain. They just want to do what they want to do. And I think that's why it works quite nicely. And I think a lot of the D Live community are on board with that kind of idea. And I think that's really, really cool because that's what I received when I first joined the platform. I had crazy support from verified partners and big streamers coming in and dropping me love. And as I've grown and I've become a bigger streamer, my support from other big streamers has reduced because now I'm expected to go and support the smaller streamers as well. And I think that's a nice mindset of being able to kind of go about that.
I agree completely, and I just want to say, like, I learned how to stream by watching you stream, and I watched you for 2 months before I started streaming, and I took the things that I saw you doing and started doing them myself, and actually I became a partner, I believe, because I was supporting other streamers and other channels, and I spend probably an average of 4 hours streaming a day, but I spend an average of 6 to 8 hours a day watching other streams and dropping Lino and chatting and stuff. And I've got like 3 dozen subs I've already dropped. And like you said, as you make money, you can help support more people that way. I think that's important that you said that, you can host other streamers if you're a partner, right? Verified partner or global partner. And so I've started that like with what you taught me, which is let's go help the little guy, right? Let's go support him. Let's chat with him. Let's give him Lino. Let's host him. Let's encourage him. We're all willing to answer questions, to try to help. If we don't know, we know somebody that does. Yeah, and Chaotic's in the chat exactly, echoing the same thing.
I think that's a good one as well, though. On D Live is that even though D Live we have this amazing support culture, people also need to understand that support culture doesn't come like just like out of the air for nothing. Like whilst you don't have to physically pay for it, you do have to work towards it. If you come onto D Live and you jump straight into doing your first stream and you haven't spent time in any other person's stream and you do, hey, I'm new to D Live, first stream, and you haven't made any friends at all, then no one's going to come in and drop by. People come into streams that they recognize the name of. If you do what I did and you spend 2 months before your first stream on D Live, networking, being in channels, letting people see your name, supporting people, when it comes to you streaming for the first time, those people will be like, oh shit, I recognize that name. Yeah. I'm going to go in and support them. And that's what I do. There's so many viewers that I've seen in my channel that have been, oh, I'm thinking about streaming, just like checking out whatever, talking to me for a few weeks. And then I'll go and then literally I'll then see that they're live and like, oh shit. And I'll go in there and drop them a load of love because they've spent the time networking and they've made it obvious. So at the same time, even though there is this crazy, amazing supportive culture on D Live, you still have to work towards that. You still have to network. And before anyone says that, oh, I've done network and I've done this and it didn't work, then you're not doing it enough. It's as simple as that. Networking is literally making friends. And there are a lot of people that don't really seem to understand that. And it's not a hard concept to grasp. Like it's not hard to make friends with people nowadays. Like literally just chatting to people, showing support is a great way of making friends. If I'm ever playing Division by myself, that means I've got free spaces free. All right, that's an opportunity to make a friend. All right, if you go into a stream and they're playing by themselves, go in there and make a friend. All right, it's literally that simple. And you can do it by gaming with people. You can just do it by going into streams and showing some support. It doesn't need to be Lino. It doesn't need to be monetary. Like there are viewers in my channel that I appreciate just as much as people like Coco that have dropped me crazy support. Because they're people that come into my stream on a daily basis. They're names that I recognize. They're people that say, "How's Zonda? Can I add you on Uplay so we can game together?" So, hell freaking yes. And I love that. But that's what I mean. Like, even though there is a crazy support culture here on D Live, if you are someone that wants to stream for the first time or has streamed for the first time, and your first stream didn't go as well to plan because you were expecting this crazy support culture, it's not going to happen without networking. It really is not. Like you've got to put in the time, you've got to put in the effort. Spend time in the D Live Discord. Spend time in different people's streams. If anything, and you're starting off streaming, to like spend time in streamer streams and getting advice. Like come into your stream, come into my stream and say, hey, I'm thinking of streaming in a couple of weeks. Do you have any tips on networking? Do you have any tips on this? Because at the end of the day, if you've gone in there and asked a streamer a question, you gave them something to reply to and engage with. I appreciate that because I've got someone to talk to. I've got a question to answer. And at the end of the day as well, it might result in me dropping back into your stream and stuff. And I think that's what's important to say is even though there is a crazy support culture here, you can't just expect it. Like you can't just think, oh, I'm going to go live today and I'm going to have loads of people stream and show me some love because D Live's all about love. That's not the way it is. You need to make sure you network and you make sure you've got to show the love and show that support and network to be able to get any of that back, if you get what I mean. As with anything, same with Streamers Connected, what you put into it, you get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And just to clarify.
Sorry, I just got a major rampage.
No. I love it. I love it.
Answer to a question.
I know you've already had your ex-gamer for the day. It's okay. But no, I think it's important and to clarify what support means, right? Like it's nice if you go into a stream and you drop, that lemon ice cream diamond that a lot of people like to do. But then if you just immediately leave, that's not exactly what I would call support, right? Support
exactly. Exactly. Like don't. It's always nice to receive a $1 or $2 in donation, but if it just comes in and there's no message with it, it's just like, oh, okay, cheers for the money. It's like walking down the street and someone hands a $5 to you because you're sat on the floor or something. It's like it's nice and all, but it's not the support that you want. Like I'm not going to go back into streams and check them out just because they've dropped me like a diamond or whatever. Like I appreciate someone coming in and just chatting to me a lot more than I do just a random donation out of the blue. Because it's nice to have someone to talk to.
Right. So to clarify, I mean, when we talk about supporting another streamer, we're talking about visit them daily if you can, chat with them when they're online, encourage them. You can send them private direct messages on Discord. You don't need to put everything in their chat,
Exactly. It doesn't need to be monetary.
Exactly. Are you lonely, Zonda? Chaotic wants to know.
So this is a weird one actually, because I said this a few years ago now, and it's something that I've always kind of like very much stuck to, and I think this is why it's always important as a streamer to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or have a pet or have family members with you, because at the same time, this is something that is really kind of true to like the mental health streamers and stuff as well. Um, Even though as a streamer you could potentially talk to hundreds if not thousands of people every single day, the second that camera goes off and second that stream shuts down, it is the loneliest fucking job you can ever have, because it's one extreme to the other. It's going from having 100 people in chat talking to you, having friends to play with, and the second that stream goes offline and you log off for the night, it goes back to just being you, whether that's you working on behind the scenes stuff, emails, whatever, and God knows what the boring shit that everyone has to do as being a streamer. Unfortunately, being a streamer is not all playing. It's not all fun and games, right? There is the real kind of job behind it as well, and developing your brand and maybe doing some graphic design stuff to make your stuff look jazzy. And it can be, whilst it is a job where you can speak to hundreds, if not thousands of people a day, the second it goes off, it can also be very, very lonely. And that's something I experienced back before I was with Flo. Obviously, I lived with my parents, but when I first started streaming, I obviously worked a normal job. When I got home in the evenings, I started streaming all night. And then by the time I finished my stream, my parents had gone to bed. So when I finished my work for the day and I finished my stream, I'd worked a whole day at work. I'd got back, I'd streamed a whole stream in the evening. And the second that I logged off for the night, I was by myself. There's no one around. There's no one to talk to. My family aren't there, and that's, as humans, that's what we crave. We crave that physical attention. We need that. We need the ability to interact with people face to face. And whilst it's great to do it over the internet and do it over a camera, it's not that same thing. Like, I could sit here and chat to you now all night long for the next hour or two, for a few hours, whatever, but it's never going to be as nice as actually meeting you in person, shaking your hand, having a beer at the pub. That's what it is, and that's kind of the upsetting truth about it, is because it's one end of it's like two ends of the spectrum. It's speaking to 100 people via voice chat or via video chat or via text chat, to then speaking to no one, and not even face to face, and that's kind of where it kind of hits home a little bit, and that's something that I personally struggle on Twitch for a while, up until I met my girlfriend Flo, and now I have someone to spend every evening with and feel better about it. Like, it is something that is difficult. So my honest advice is, if you are a streamer that doesn't necessarily have a family that you live with, or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a pet, for instance, try meet up with friends regularly, because that's the one thing that kind of made me hit a real bad low at one point during my time streaming on Twitch. Was loneliness. It hit me really, really hard at one point. And that was actually probably the time that I was biggest on Twitch. This was at the time when I was pulling hundreds of viewers, if not thousands, sometimes a day. And it's because of that major difference from going one end of the spectrum of having 1,000 people wanting to speak to you, and then the second you turn off your stream, you go back to zero, and your parents are asleep, or you haven't got any friends in your area. And that's when it gets quite hard. So my honest advice is, if you are a streamer that necessarily doesn't live with someone, it's important to take time away and spend it with friends. Go and meet up with your old mates from school, because that's something that I really, really struggled with at one point. No,
it's actually a really great point, because I am a medically retired Marine. I do live by myself, and I actually started watching streamers to have the same face and friends and conversation every day, right? That's why actually how I met you was living alone and wanting to communicate and reach out. And since I've started streaming, I realized exactly what you said, which is you have this constant like, oh, emotions, and like, hey, how you doing? It's great. And then you turn it off and you're like, damn, I'm here by myself.
You're back by yourself, and that's kind of when it hits home. It really is tough, and I know loads of streamers that have struggled with it over the years, and it is something that you've got to be really careful of, because if it sneaks up on you and you keep putting it off and not like listening to it and actually doing something with your friends, one day it's going to hit you fucking hard, and you're going to wake up and you're not going to want to stream because you're feeling lonely as fuck, and then you've lost both, because you haven't got anyone there, and you don't have that motivation to stream anymore, because you feel a little bit lost in the world, and it's a bit of a struggle. It is. It's a shame.
Well, and what I
it's
did,
something as streamers we have to deal with.
I actually I started addressing that, and I like that you said you need to address it, because what I was streaming like 6 hours at a stretch in the evening, and then again it was that lonely feeling after. So what I started doing was I'll stream about 3 hours, then I'll leave the house for 2 hours, go outside, get some sunshine, meet some friends, do some things, and then come back and stream for a little more if I still have the energy and the inclination. And that's really improved my mood daily, and my motivation even, because I am getting sunshine, which is important for human beings. I am getting actual physical interaction with other human beings. It's incredibly important, and we can't understate that. Okay,
I definitely agree.
Now, you hit on something earlier, but I definitely would like for you to talk about it. You said you started as a streamer reviewing products, and I know that you're sponsored by PC Specialist. Like, how important is that? How important is sponsorship, do you think, to being a successful streamer, or is it even necessary to be a successful streamer?
I don't think it's necessary to be a successful streamer. I think everyone you can like, everyone rates success differently.
Sure.
I guess see this is the thing. Obviously I've been very, very lucky. Like I deem success as being in a state where you are happy. And happiness a lot of the time comes from financial security, and just genuine. Yeah, I guess happiness comes from a lot of things, but a lot of the time it is based on financial security. A lot of times money issues can be the things that cause people the most grief.
Sure.
I'm sure people have had arguments with their missus, their husband, their boyfriend, whatever, and family members based on money. I know I've had friends that have fallen out over money before. I know family members that have struggled through certain times, and things get tense when things come down to money. Because at the end of the day, unfortunately, that's what makes the world go round. You got to do that to pay your rent. You got to do it to pay your bills. You got to do it to buy food on the table. So I would deem happiness. Well, I would deem success as happiness. And one of the key main factoring things of happiness a lot of the times is financial security. It doesn't necessarily mean being rich, being able to afford a fancy flash car or a fancy flash house, or be able to go out into a fancy fine restaurant every single night, but it's financial security. Happiness isn't necessarily rated in the amount of money you have, but the safety net of where you are. If your rent and bills and stuff are only equal £500 a month, you could earn £1,000 a month and be more than financially stable. If your rent and bills are £5,000 a month and you're earning £6,000 a month, that's a crazy amount of money, but you might be struggling. So it's all based on relative to where people's like financial security lays, if you get what I mean, where that safety net is.
Sure.
And yeah, so I think I've been very lucky that because of DLive and the support that I've had, like I am now financially secure. For I don't know whether that's the foreseeable future or the X amount of months. I don't know, but at my current state in time, I am financially secure, and that's amazing. But when I was on Twitch, earning on Twitch was a lot harder because obviously you received a smaller percentage of your overall earnings, and I personally believe that Twitch wasn't as a rewarding platform as DLive. So for me, I needed to have a sponsorship to be able to, in order to be successful or to be financially secure. So whilst I was happy that it was a sponsorship that I got that I really wanted, at the same time, it adds to that financial security. A lot of the times people jump into the opportunities of being sponsored by a company just to say that they're sponsored by a company. Don't, because unless it's an opportunity to add a layer of financial security, and to actually promote a product that you enjoy having or enjoy using, go for it. But a lot of the time you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to deem, oh, this big streamer has this many sponsors, I must get a sponsor to be a successful streamer. You don't need sponsorships at the end of the day. It's more just adding that layer of financial security sometimes, and having that opportunity. Like, for instance, I got affiliated by Astro. I don't really get any sales. I don't care about whatever that is, but I love Astro as a product, and that for me is a slight successful sponsorship. Even though it's an affiliate, I don't get paid or anything like that. it's a company that I've known and loved for such a long time that they've asked me and said, hey, do you want to be affiliated? And I'm like, hey, yeah, I get a cool headset. I get to say that I'm part of the team for the company that I freaking love. And that's why I love that. And I think that's wicked. PC Specialist as well is obviously a company I've worked with for many, many years. I love the fact that I'm sponsored by them because it adds the financial security and it gave me my beast PC. So I guess there's always look at it to make sure that it's something that you love and something that you actually want to promote and be sponsored by, either for the financial security aspect, but as well as you need to make sure that it's something you believe in the product. It's something you like. It's something you love. Because there's so many people nowadays that have sponsorships for certain things, and you can tell it's just like a paid promotional thing. It's just that. It's just this. Yeah. Don't be so eager to jump into being sponsored by a company. It's not always what you'd expect, if you get me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, no, I appreciate you covering that because I have no experience with sponsors. I think a lot of streamers don't, and there is that misconception that you need to be sponsored to be successful. And really, it's kind of the reverse of that. There will be companies reaching out to you once you are successful. Yeah. And like you said, be careful. Don't just take anything that comes your way because people can tell if you're excited about a product or not.
One thing you've also got to be a bit careful of as well is reaching out to you. Please make sure you understand your value, understand your worth. There are so many streamers nowadays that get taken advantage by poor reward affiliate programs is basically the way I'm going to call it. Is a lot of companies try to put out an affiliate program. They make it seem like, oh, you get 10% off code and you'll get 5% of every purchase. If their profit margins are like 40-50% and you're getting 5% of that, you're getting fucking screwed over. Okay, like as streamers, you need to understand your value. Make sure that when you are getting something, actually research into it. Talk to the company and say, well, actually, you've asked me to come on as an affiliate. It's not like a paid monthly sponsorship. Let's discuss what this actually is. What's the product? How much is the value? Is it selling for? What's your profit margins on it? At the end of the day, if a company wants you to be like an affiliate for them, they want to use your brand to advertise their product, they need to be open with you, and you need to be open with them as well. So let them know about your channel, let them know your stats and stuff, because at the end of the day, then you can go back to them and say, well, I want to know more about the product. I want to know more about the business. If I'm promoting your product, I want to make sure I'm getting my fair share of what I'm promoting. Because at the end of the day, if you're bringing in extra sales, like a percentage of something is better than a full percentage of like a full amount of nothing, if you know what I mean. So it's being kind of careful and making sure that you understand the value of a product and what you're promoting. There are a lot of companies that try and like really kind of use streamers and influencers to take advantage of to get sales and not necessarily pay them what it's worth. I've seen like a few chair companies that sell, like, for instance, they'll sell a gaming chair for like £200-300. Like realistically, you go to China, you know they're only being 50 quid per chair, including shipping. So they're making £300 profit on a chair, whatever it is, or £200 profit on a chair. And then the streamer's only getting like £10 referral fee for that. So it's why is the streamer only getting 10% of the profit when realistically profit should probably be shared a little bit more, kind of 50-50 on this, or even 40% of that. Like you'd be happy with a much higher percentage. Like, let's be honest, it's something that if you are looking at sponsors and you are getting companies approach you, make sure you understand the value that you're worth on your channel. Don't just jump at the opportunity going, oh, hey, I'm going to get a free chair, or I'm going to get a free headset, or I'm going to get free one of this. And then you're expected to make these sales and stuff. At the end of the day, streamers aren't salespeople. We are influencers effectively, even though I don't really like using the word. We influence people on stuff. Like it's a good way to kind of show stuff. I think product placement's always the best thing to do, because if someone's interested in the product, they'll ask about it and you tell them. But yeah, always make sure that you double check with other people first. Don't get taken advantage of on like affiliate programs and stuff like that aren't really as rewarding as people may deem.
Very good, sir. Well, thank you for that information, because honestly, I didn't know any of that. And you hit on something I think is important to echo, which is you said be aware of your brand, your company. So I think a lot of new streamers maybe don't actually understand your name. The name that you choose is your product. Your daily content is your product. So understand that you have a worth, you have a company, you have a product. and that's what they're trying to use, is your influence, your energy, your time, and it is worth something. So make sure that,
Exactly.
yeah, make sure that you know that, and don't enter into any contracts that aren't mutually beneficial. So let's
Definitely.
we haven't really got into this much. We kind of hinted about you locking in a million Lino. But let's talk about Lino for a minute. Let's talk about what it is, why it's integral to D Live, and what locking in Lino even means for those that don't know.
Okay, so yeah, I basically, when I first joined D Live, Lino, and the whole lock-in system. So Lino is obviously the cryptocurrency. It's effectively kind of like a proof of concept right now. It's currently running on testnet, so it's not a fully fledged cryptocurrency. It's more of a private currency as of right now.
Mhm.
But once it goes over to mainnet, it will become a mainnet full cryptocurrency. The value will fluctuate based on the demand of the currency. Hopefully we'll see the value go up, which would be great. Then that means anyone who's got locked points will see a reward as well. But the whole idea of Lino as a cryptocurrency is, I believe, it's proof of stake. So the idea is that people will stake in and stake towards the currency, and basically because of that, it's like their investment into owning a percentage of the Lino network platform itself, effectively. So a bit like how on big companies you have people like shareholders and stuff like that. Effectively, with crypto, it enables the community behind the platform to effectively be shareholders, which I think is really, really cool. I love that idea. I think it's pretty sweet. And with Lino and locking in Lino, when you lock in Lino, it gives you access to a percentage of the daily rewards pool, which is based on would be effectively the daily profits of the business. So a bit like how on Twitch or Mixer or YouTube or whatever, at the end of each day, I'm sure they're all sat there rolling in their millions that have come in each day. And that doesn't obviously go back to the community. That goes straight to the board of directors and paying staff and so on and so forth. With D Live, actually, the streamers here and the viewers here, the community here, have the opportunity to actually invest back into the platform themselves and see those rewards as well. So for me personally, I wanted to prove my investment into the community, my investment into the future of the platform, and show that I believed in the future of the platform by basically locking in as much of my earnings as possible. Because at the end of the day, I personally, I don't like the idea of being a global partner and not showing that I am probably one of the most invested people in the platform. At the end of the day, I think there's only 5 of us now as global partners. And I personally believe we are the people that should prove themselves to show that why we deserve that role. And for me, that's locking in, showing that I am invested in the platform because I've got $12,000 sat invested in the platform. And don't get me wrong, I could really use 12 grand right now. That would be insane. That would pay for my rent for the next year almost. But it's something where I personally believe if I can show that I'm invested in the future of the platform, hopefully then the D Live team, the D Live staff, the Lino staff will understand that I'm not just a streamer that's here for a quick payday and someone that actually wants to see the platform grow, see the platform profit and do well. And obviously because of that as well, you are rewarded on a daily basis, which is great. So the more you have locked in, the more you have invested, the more of a percentage of the daily rewards you will receive. And I think it's a great way. It's a great way that D Live can incentivize people to be invested in the platform and actually not only just being emotionally invested, but physically invested, which is nice. Because I know there's a lot of us that were on Twitch 5 years ago and stuff like that, that as the platform has grown, we've seen a little bit of benefit in terms of growth from that. But once you kind of get to the stage where, like me, you were starting to struggle, you hadn't really seen any of your time and effort that you'd put into Twitch over the years. I worked out roughly that over my 5 years on Twitch and the percentage that Twitch taken, I've made them roughly $30,000, $40,000,
Wow.
which is a lot of money. If you think
Yeah.
if you split that up over the 5 years, that's 5 to 10 grand a year that I'd missed out on, and that was given to Twitch. Now imagine if that was a smaller percentage, and I actually had the opportunity to invest those earnings back into the platform to receive a percentage of the profits as the platform grown. It would have been crazy. Imagine if I'd invested all the earnings that I'd had on Twitch and put it into Twitch when Twitch was growing. You never know. I might be in a position now that I would have been a lot better off. And I personally believe that's why D Live is a really good idea, because it gives people that emotional and physical investment to want to see the platform thrive, to want to see the platform grow. Because at the end of the day, if DLive goes to shit and fails, I lose 12 grand. If DLive does well and it grows, my 12 grand could turn into potentially more. So it gives people that motivation to want to see it do well. Instead of just being in it for your own channel, you're in it for the platform. Because theoretically, with my investment that I've got into DLive, even if my own channel wasn't to do so well and other channels were to blow up and go massive and go huge, I would still be getting a small percentage of how well those channels have done. Right. So instead of the concept of the idea on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube and stuff, at the end of the day, you want to see your own channel do well. On DLive, you want to see the platform do well, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, obviously, it's great that my own channel's doing well, but at the same time, I will also be rewarded for the platform doing well. So personally, for me, I'm just as much invested in the platform as I am in my own channel. And I think that's why DLive have a great kind of idea and like projection for the future, an idea for the future, is because of how well they can have their community and streamers invested, as I said, not just emotionally, physically.
And I also want to say too, because, you know, I've had people come into my channel and ask me about buying Lino and locking in Lino, and they generally preface it with, I don't really have a lot of money to invest. I just want to say, guys, it's important that you don't invest money into Lino that you can't afford to lose, because in the end, it is an investment. And this is a new platform, and it will be going, like he said, it's on a test net. It's not public. It's going to go to a main net. There will be fluctuation. So I just wanted to, you know, I used to work for Harrah's Casino. So they taught us how to spot problem gamblers, people spending money, right, that they couldn't afford to spend. So I just want to encourage you guys, by all means, invest. I have 75,000 Lino locked in. Most of that I bought myself, but I can afford to do that, and I can afford to lose that. Right, so be careful about spending money and get, you know, I know it's exciting to buy Lino and donate to your favorite streamers and they get hyped up and you feel good, but make sure you keep it in, you know, under control, and that you're not actually causing yourself harm.
Definitely. It's, yeah, only ever invest you can afford to lose. Yeah, I've seen that tried to fucking sell their car, remortgage their house to get into crypto, to buy some Bitcoin, and then they've lost it because Bitcoin craze has died and it's dropped down, and it's stupidity, man. Never ever ever invest what you can't afford to lose, man. At the end of the day, it is a risk, all right? But then again, leaving money in your bank account is a risk, because what if the banks go under? I guess everything in life is a risk. It's just about weighing it up and trying to be safe and sensible.
Exactly. We're just saying, make a calculated risk and make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
Exactly, man. 100%.
Not a single one of us want you to donate Lino to us when you need to put food on your table or pay your bills or pay your car note. So I just wanted to say that, because people get excited when you start talking about 1 million Lino locked in and all this, right? You know, you've been working for almost a decade at being a streamer. You've been working tremendously hard with Streamers Connected. You know what I mean? It's super important to say that you are where you are because of the amount of work that you've put in, because of how supportive you are of other people and of the platform.
Indeed. Well, Joe, mate, as I think saying go with the flow, I'm guessing it's probably time for me to wrap it up and for you to get your next question, man.
Yes. So just so you guys know, coming up immediately after this, in about 15 minutes time, Flow Driver, the newest global partner. Yes, she's right.
15 minutes.
15 minutes. The newest global partner on the platform, the first female global partner on the platform. I'm super excited to have her on. She will be on my live podcast, Fireside Chats, literally in like 15 minutes. But she's going to need some time to shut her stream down and me to get her on and all that. So
I was going to say, I'm happy to answer any more for another 15 minutes. So.
Yeah. So
happy to be a filler.
Yeah. At the end of the interview, we always like to open up questions from the audience for our guest. Today's guest is LT Zonda. In case you didn't know, if you've been under a D Live rock or something, he's incredibly popular, incredibly energetic individual. His name's Luke. You can call him Zonda. His favorite car, I didn't even know that. Pagani Zonda. It's an actual vehicle, people.
It is. It is.
So if you guys want to ask Luke a question, now would be the time. I'm seeing a lot of Flow Driver love in here.
Exactly, man. All the Flow love right now. All the Flow.
And you guys, listen, you can ask him any question you want on any given day, but you just may not get his attention to get the answer. So if you guys have a question, now would be the time. But I actually have a question for you, Luke. We just had PAX East here in the US. We're about to have a PAX West. They have events in the UK, and you've traveled to events in the UK. How important is it, do you think, for people to go to these live events?
I think they're a brilliant opportunity to actually network. And as I said before, when it comes down to streaming, it's much better when you can actually meet a fellow streamer from online in person, because at the end of the day, you could make best friends with someone online and never have really met them and still have that kind of lonely feeling. I think when you meet someone for the first time, when I first, let me use TwitchCon as an example. When I first went to TwitchCon, and I met I met over 100 streamers that were from the US that I'd made friends with on Twitch, and actually meeting them for the first time and being able to actually see them in person, it's a really, really nice feeling, because it makes you feel good. It makes you realize actually how much of a friendship you've developed just from online. It's kind of hard to put it into words. I'm trying to think of how to word it right now, but it's a really nice feeling when you meet streamers for the first time that you've made friends with over online over the years or whatever. And it's a good opportunity to network. You get to meet other streamers, you get to chat to other streamers. You might even get a chance for viewers to meet you as well. For instance, when I went to Insomnia one year, back when I was kind of big in GTA on Twitch, I think I actually met about 400, 500 fans over the whole weekend, and it was crazy. It was mind blowing, and it's a really and whether it just be one person that comes up to you and says, "Hey, I watch your streams," or 500 people that come up to you and say, "Hey, I watch your streams," having someone take the time out of their day to come up to you, ask for a photo, ask for you to sign something, even just to say, "Hey, I watch your streams," or to shake your hand. It's a nice feeling. It's a great feeling when someone takes the time out of their day to just literally just say hi to you because they've seen you online. So I think it's a really good opportunity to go to these events and do that.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit digitized over there. I'm wondering if you're having a little connectivity issues with this.
Yeah, it might be the internet being a bit sketchy, unfortunately.
Okay. No problem. So Lejean actually asked a really great question. He said, what would you say your goal is now that you've basically reached the pinnacle on DLive, right? You're a global partner. You're a successful streamer. I would say, anybody would say that. What's your new goal? How, just for people who maybe reach that level in the future, how do you stay motivated?
I guess for me, it's the knowledge of knowing not everything lasts forever. I was obviously on Twitch. I got to the point on Twitch where I had 10,000 viewers at one point on a stream on Twitch. And then obviously 3 years later, I was a small streamer again. So I think it's the understanding of knowing maybe what I did do wrong last time and maybe trying to make sure that I can do it a bit better this time. So for me, even though I am a global partner, I've reached my lock-in goal. It doesn't stop there. That's not where the grind stops. I guess it's now making sure that I can sustain this career that I have been incredibly fortunate and blessed and lucky to have. Obviously, the support I've had to get me to this position has been incredible, and obviously that's because of hard work and determination and stuff like that. But at the same time, now that I've been blessed enough and lucky enough to now have this opportunity to have this career, now I need to maintain it. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. Mm-hmm. A lot of the time you can get lucky and you can get up to the top for a little while and you can thrive off of some hype or whatever's going on, but being able to sustain that and being able to continue your career, like everyone knows that with being a streamer, it's very up and down. It's not not something that just goes in a line. It's up and down and God knows what here, there, left turns and there and everywhere. So it's important to make sure that you can maintain the career that you've been lucky enough to be given. And yeah, I think that's my goal now. So if there's new things that come into the platform over the next year, I will grind towards goals, and I will set myself targets, and I will always want to be growing my channel and hopefully going forward and progressing. But at the same time, it's now putting in that grind and putting in that effort and making sure that I can sustain what I have been so lucky to be given.
All right, and then I actually, So Smooth actually asked a great question, which is, how should we promote to our friends on other platforms and communities? You know, like how do you bring them to DLive or promote?
I guess it's just educating, really. Like for instance, my main were on Twitch. I've got a little bit of a following on YouTube and a little bit of following on Facebook, and a decent following on Twitter. I use all my social medias whenever I go live to say that I'm live. I try and do tweets where I say about, oh, it's for, even for viewers, they can earn, about it being rewarding, and because of that I get a lot of DMs, and I answer these DMs and say, hey, like, because all these people are going, what the fuck is DLive, what's this all about? And I'll reply to them and say, actually, it's a rewarding platform that's about this is the idea and the concept that it's built on. And people like that. I think DLive is probably the easiest platform to sell. But the problem is, at the same time, is DLive does sound too good to be true, and that's not because it is too good to be true, but it's because all these other platforms have set the standard for the last 5 years. Whilst 5 years ago, DLive, Mixer, YouTube can take 50% of your earnings, whatever they do. Nowadays, they can't do that. Like, DLive has shown that no, content creators deserve to have more of a percentage of their earnings, and that's why DLive and Lino only take 10% or less than 10%. And I think that's what you need to do, is you need to educate people and say, hey, if you've got a following on any platform, let people know about DLive, tell them how rewarding it is. If they're streamers, educate them on why they should stream here instead. Exactly. If you've got a friend who's struggling on Twitch, tell them about DLive and say, well, you've got 30 odd viewers on Twitch, bring those viewers over to DLive, they'll be more rewarded, and in return they'll be able to reward you more, because overall DLive is a much more rewarding platform for everyone. So yeah, it's a difficult one. It's always going to be hard, but at the end of the day, the more you shout about something, the more people will be interested. The more you hype something up, the more people will be interested. And if you're out there shouting about how good DLive is each day, more and more people are going to be interested and want to get on board.
Perfect. So Lejean Brames actually asked a question about basically streaming daytime or nighttime. Do you think it hurts the stream for like US streamers to stream at night or during the day, given that DLive is a global platform?
I think DLive still, I don't know if there is a bigger audience of US viewers on DLive or a bigger audience of UK viewers on DLive. I know the big, like Turkish and Georgian, but yeah, I would say at the end of the day, it's best to stick to a schedule for you. For instance, I stream from 12 UK time, lunchtime, to 6 in the evening, 6 p.m. So I normally do 6 hours a day, roughly the same sort of schedule every single day. Then that way I build up a community and an audience at those time zones, and people know that I'll be live during those time zones. Because, for instance, if you were to stream in the morning and then the next day you streamed at night, your audience that watch you in the morning aren't going to have a fucking clue you're streaming at night. Then you may gain a load of followers at night who then, when you go back and stream in the morning, aren't going to have a bloody clue. So unless you're going to be live for 12 hours a day and cover both time zones, US and UK, then pick one that works for you, pick the time that works best for you, and go with it. I'd say consistency is key, man. You got to stick to it.
So I think that's a really great answer, that what you finished up with, which is, it doesn't matter, guys, when you stream, just be consistent. Your audience will find you. And if you're not streaming when it's convenient for you, then you're not going to be able to be consistent. And that's the most important thing. Be consistent with whatever it is that you want to do. Be consistent. You will be successful. Go into other channels. Like, if you can't stream at a certain time, go into other channels and chat and network and get to know these other streamers and support them and encourage them. And you will learn things from them that will help you, but you will also build real relationships and friendships. I know, like Lejean Brames, I just did an interview with him, a podcast, and he had just gotten back from PAX East. and he kept talking about how incredible it was to act, like you were saying, Luke, to actually meet these other streamers and viewers and shake their hand and look into their eyes and say thank you for supporting me, thank you for being there. Let's see, here's another question. What do you think is something that can benefit your viewer count? Because I feel that is the thing that is hardest to achieve.
I guess it's a difficult one because obviously at the moment Drive isn't really a huge platform. You don't have, for instance, if you look at the D Live home, biggest streamer is you. And you've got 85 viewers, the next person's got 28, 25, 24, 22, 21, etc., etc., etc. So it's not like there is a crazy abundance of English speaking viewership on D Live, and it's going to be something that takes a long time to grow. It's not like you can get lucky one day and you stream like a new game and you're going to have thousands of viewers and have those opportunities. It's something you just want to build up over time. I wouldn't say get locked down on the numbers. Because at the end of the day, it's more about community. Like I would much rather have, say, 30 people, like 30 viewers in my stream, and every single one of them's talking and chatting to me, than having 100 viewers in my stream and my chat is relatively quiet. For me personally, if I've got people to talk to nonstop, that's how I determine how well a stream has gone that way, based on the interaction. At the end of the day, viewer numbers will go up and down, but you got to be thankful for what you have. Whether it's one person, 10 people, or 100 people, it's still someone taking their time out of their day to watch your content and to watch your stream. And I think it's important to make sure that you're performing as best you can, no matter if there's one or more people in your stream. You've got to make sure that your stream is the best it can be for that show. And that entertainment for that one person, because otherwise that one person might not tune in again. I think there are a lot of people that get demotivated by a lower viewer count because they've had a bigger viewer count one day. Like, for instance, there was yesterday or whatever, I hit 200 viewers because of the crazy giveaway that happened. And then today, I think the highest amount of viewers we hit was around about 60 odd, which is still crazy. But at the same time, you think of it and go, oh, I had 200 today. Why am I only getting 60 today? But it's I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but effectively, like, no matter how many viewers you have in, you need to treat your stream the exact same way, whether it's 1 viewer or 100 viewers, because I know a lot of streamers that have got down because they've had a big day one day and then the next day they've had a quiet day. And because of that, they've been on stream the next day. They haven't been their usual self. You can tell they're down. You can tell they're not enjoying themselves. You can tell they're not as hype as they usually am because they're worried about the viewer thing. They're going, oh, shit. What have I done wrong? Yesterday I had 200 viewers. Today I've only got 20. Why is there 180 people that don't want to watch me today? And it's not because streamers only care about the viewer count. It's because as streamers, we wonder what we do wrong. When I went from being a big streamer with with 10,000 viewers or thousands of viewers to then being a smaller streamer with only 20 or 30 viewers, every single day I was sat there streaming going, what have I done wrong? Why do people not like me anymore? You think of it as being your fault. And I've learned over time that it's not always your fault. Platforms change, things are different. People have different things they want to watch each day. I completely understand that not every single one of my viewers wants to tune in on a daily basis, because I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't tune in and watch the same person every day because I would get bored shitless of them. So understand that some days are going to be less, some days are going to be more. It's just the way it is. Be thankful for what you have. Keep putting in a show, because then when a new person tunes into your stream, they're going to be like, holy shit, this guy's awesome to watch. This girl's wicked to watch. I'm enjoying this. I'm loving it. Always make sure you're on the top of your game. And that's probably why I was struggling on Twitch for the last 2 years, because I went from being a big streamer down to being a smaller streamer. I started wondering what was wrong. I wasn't my usual happy self because I wasn't hitting targets anymore. I was feeling demotivated because my channel wasn't doing as well. And because of that, new people were coming to my channel. They were seeing that I was being a boring old fart, and they weren't enjoying it. But now that I'm in a better mood and I'm in a positive, and I'm coming to the stream like, yo, I'm liking this person. I'm going to watch this stream and I'm going to enjoy this. I think that's what it is. It's all about keeping up the momentum. Don't let the viewer numbers bring you down, because at the end of the day, even if you've just got one person in there, that's one person that's taking the time out of their day to watch your stream. and time is valuable, man. I know that. I stream 6 hours a day. I then do other work and that in the evenings. I try and spend some time checking out streams and stuff, but I don't have time to be able to go around and drop by every single streamer on the platform, and neither does any other viewer.
Right.
So be thankful for any person that tunes into your stream, because they've got an option to go and watch 200 other people, but they've they've chosen you. They've taken their time to watch you, and that's what means the most, man. There are, at the end of the day, anyone, any viewer or any streamer has the option to watch hundreds of other streamers. Be thankful that they've chosen you, man, and that's a privilege. That's an honor.
Exactly.
I think that's the best way to look at it.
Yeah, it's really important. We can't overstate that. And they made it this point in the chat, which is why I'm going to echo it. You are not the total number of viewers you have. You are not the total number of subscribers or followers you have. You are important. Without streaming, if nobody even knew who you were, you're a beautiful, incredible human being. You're important, and don't tie your self-worth to something as arbitrary as how many people watched my stream today, because they're not corollary, right? So that's what's beautiful about DLive is there is a really beautiful community here, people growing and helping support each other. But just understand, you are not the total number of viewers in your stream at any given time. So now somebody's actually asked, how did you come up with the echo, Luke? You're clearly famous for the diamonds, and that's a lot of lemons, and all these other beautiful things. And I've heard other I've done it on my stream, and I totally try not to, but it gets into your head, man. It's so addictive. Where did you come up with that?
So I guess the that's a lot of lemons is a bit of like stolen meme from the Flex Seal dude. I don't know if you've seen the Flex Seal guy, and he goes, "That's a lot of damage." Loads of people have the echo button. I like the echo. Flow has an echo. Loads of people have it as just a standard option on a mixer or a soundboard, and it's easy to do. Like, at the end of the day, like, I don't own that echo. Like, there's a million other streamers that do it.
Only echo, Luke. Only echo.
It's just trying to make things a little bit more interesting. If there's memes that are relevant, use that meme culture and use those memes in your content. Like, you got to think the biggest friggin' YouTuber in the world right now is PewDiePie, and his whole channel right now is built on memes. People love memes. So I think of my favorite memes. I love the Flex Seal dude. I love it when he goes, "That's a lot of damage." So I did the same thing with "That's a lot of lemons." And I thought, you know what? I've got an echo button. Why don't I put lemons at the end of it? And that's the thing. And it's the same with the diamond thing. The diamond thing actually came more from my stutter. So I used to have a really, really bad stutter. And to kind of play on the stutter, I go, and diamonds, as if like it's a play on my stutter. I've always had a bad stutter. And I think it's a funny way of taking the piss out of it a little bit. So it's little things like that, man. At the end of the day, if you've got a fancy little sound thing on your keyboard, whack it in there and use it occasionally.
Well, we haven't said this yet, but I think it's important. Be yourself. Use what you got. It works. People will love you for it.
But yeah, like don't be afraid as well. Like if big streamer or something that has something that you think, oh, that's cool. Don't like be like, oh, I can't do that because it's copying. No, it's not. Mate, there's like a million freaking streamers out there, man. No streamer is completely unique, okay? Unless you're going to go and put like a freaking black wig on, some glasses, like an army vest or whatever it is, and pretend that you're Dr. Disrespect. Yeah, that's copying, but no streamer owns like specific echoes or little phrases or stuff like that. Like, don't be afraid to take influence from other people. Exactly. It's not always copying unless you're literally trying to be them.
So, all right. So I need to talk to Flo for a minute. Yes, ma'am. How long do you have? It is 12:34 right now. So, Luke, I love you, buddy, but we've got to get our next guest on. Our next guest is Flo Driver, everybody, and she's there in chat. If you don't know, run over to her channel. She's the newest global partner. Drop her a follow real quick. But if you want to chat with Flo and you want to be available for that live podcast, you need to be here on my channel so that she can see your chat live. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, Luke. I'm sure you and I could talk for hours and hours.
It has been an absolute pleasure, my man.
Oh man, pleasure. It's so much. It's literally been a couple of years I've wanted to have this sort of a conversation with you, because even when we were gaming together, right? We didn't get to know each other like this. We were just gaming. So I really appreciate you being on my live podcast, Fireside Chats, and guys, that's LT Zonda. So. You all know him. You all love him. Drop by and drop him a follow. Somebody drop LT Zonda's link in chat for me, please. If you guys don't already know this man, get to know him. He's a beautiful soul. He's incredibly helpful. He can help you get a boss computer from PC Specialist for less than you would pay on your own. So definitely got to plug that. He can help you get some cheap X-Gamer code flow. Y'all know about that. We dropped that link earlier. So I really, really appreciate you guys being here. Quick question by Redfish: how come we can't claim rewards anymore? That's just a temporary thing, guys. The chest.
They're just doing some updates.
Yeah, they're just doing some updates, so that's not going to stick that way. But
it'll be back on PC soon.
All right, guys. so what we need to do to host Flow Driver is I actually need to end this stream, but then I will immediately start the stream back up. And it'll be about a 5 to 10 minute break. We've been going an hour and a half, so get up, stretch, get some water, use the bathroom, whatever you need to do. And we will be back with Flow Driver in just a few moments. So stay tuned for another live podcast of Fireside Chat with author Joe Holt. Luke, thank you, brother. Love you, man.
It's been an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you very much. Joe, really, really appreciate it. I look forward to Flo's interview. I'll catch you in a little bit.
For anybody that missed any of this interview and you want to see the rest on YouTube, Author Joe Holt, I always upload all of these live podcasts so you can watch them again. So stay tuned, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Flow Driver. Aloha.